Well, good day. I just wanted to share with you an aphorism that, I said this in another comment, that it's been said in so many ways, but so infrequently is it heard. So this relates to me looking for the source of a quote. If you don't have what you want, you should want what you have. How it's amor fati, or the eternal return. I just loved it. It's been attributed to Nietzsche and a rabbi. I think under the rabbi it's happiness is not having what you want, but wanting what you have. It's still the same message. So today I'm reading a book about Blake, and the opening is a quote from someone I've never heard, Paul Eluard. There is certainly another world, but it is in this one. And this is a book about William Blake, how he was a mystic. The title eludes me here. Let's see here. William Blake versus the World by John Higgs. Again, I've told you I went and studied William Blake, how he connects to Jung and Nietzsche and, Buber since. Just finished reading I and Thou by Buber. But what's interesting is how this ties together. Blake would have said the same thing. Nietzsche, Jung, you name it, really. As I said, it's been said in so many different ways, it's almost impossible to attribute. But in researching who or what to attribute this saying, even though I'm pretty sure it could go back to the I Ching, so that would be one of our oldest sources. But the same can be said about, I'm sure I could find it in the Upanishads. But as I said, this idea of wanting what you have. So, as I said, in researching, I came across a study on, it's on PubMed. So this is the National Institute for Health, it's a government website. But this particular study is titled, Is Happiness Having What You Want, Wanting What You Have, or Both? ? Well, what's interesting is they open up by saying that they did two studies, right, comparing. And so I'll read you the final line of the abstract. Oh, by the way, this is PMID is 183-99890. Paper entitled, Is Happiness Having What You Want, Wanting What You Have, or Both? Larson, JT, and McKibben, AR, the authors. April 19, 2008. So as I said, the abstract talks about having conducted two surveys. I'm not sure who studies. Who paid for this? It's an interesting question to answer the question. But their final sentence of the conclusion is as follows, and I quote, results indicate that happiness is both wanting what you have and having what you want, end quote. It's literally just stopped me in my tracks, stopped me from researching, because I couldn't believe the level of stupidity. Remember, I mentioned before a study that was trying to disprove free will, and they opened by saying, well, we all know that, we can't take into account how unconscious people are, so they're not partaking of, choice, therefore free will. Yeah. But here I sit, reading this, if you want what you have, there is no separate having what you want. This is amor fati, Nietzsche's love your fate. His eternal recurrence, eternal return, this idea that the only secret to getting through life, I think even Albert Camus would agree, since life is absurd, it's suffering, it seems at best chaos. The only secret to surviving is to treat everything as ordered. And I know I say that. And what I mean by that is, until you treat, and I quote Kipling often, until you treat triumph and disasters as impostors both, meaning there is no difference. This is Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, right? It's a label. It's Jung's shadow, right? It's a dozen different ways that we could say it. It's simply wanting what you have, embracing everything as a gift, even down to the most mundane, because there is no separation of the mundane and the divine. Once you begin to categorize and separate and label, that's what you get lost. That's when you get lost in the minutiae, and you forget that the secret to happiness is wanting what you have.